All right, it's 7 p.m. We're going to begin this regular meeting of the Rutherford Board of Education, May 11th, 2026. We'll ask everyone who can to please stand, face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll ask Mr. Kelly to please take roll.
Mr. Bogosian?
Present.
Ms. Cates?
Here.
Mrs. Cole?
Here.
Mr. Conti?
Present.
Mr. Healy?
Here.
Mrs. Jones?
Present.
Dr. Racine?
Here.
Mr. Sprayberry?
Present.
Dr. Owati?
Here.
Ms. Iorio?
Here.
You have a quorum. Thank you.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meeting of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Rutherford Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place posted on the bulletin board outside the Borough Clerk's office, mailed to the Herald, South Bergenite, and the Record newspapers, and filed with the Borough Clerk. Hard copies of the agenda are available in the meeting room. An agenda is posted electronically on Friday before the meeting date on the district's website at www.rutherfordschools.org. Subsequent to the meeting, a video of the meeting will be uploaded to the district's website, www.rutherfordschools.org. The video link can be found by opening the Board of Education link and clicking on Public Meetings and then Videos. So board members, in your packets, there were minutes to approve for the regular meeting and executive session for April 27th, 2026. Any questions or comments on those? Seeing none, I'll ask Mr. Kelly to please enter those. And I will turn it over to our student representative for your report.
Good evening. Spring sports are still going pretty well as many RHS teams have been competing in county tournaments. Senior nights are also still happening in the coming days. The RHS Spring Concert is this upcoming Wednesday. All of the music students have been working hard all year to put on a great performance. Next Wednesday night is the Evening of the Arts at RHS, which will showcase artwork made by students in various art classes over the course of the year. There will also be musical performances highlighting all different artistic talents. May 1st was a fun day for the seniors as we celebrated our plans for after high school by wearing merch and signing our names outside the guidance office. The seniors also have some other exciting activities coming up this month. May 29th is the senior awards ceremony as well as the senior prom, which we've definitely been looking forward to all year. And in June, there will be even more fun celebrations such as senior sunset and of course graduation. Starting next week, the elementary schools will be having their field days and many RHS students from Heroes and Cool Kids will be volunteering to help out. These days are always a lot of fun for both the high schoolers and the younger kids. From the other schools, Lincoln School is kicking off the end of the year with a lot of fun activities. They also have their art show and spring concert coming up, and the second grade students will be getting a lesson in sign language from some Union School students. Washington School's Discovery Day was a big success. The activities covered a lot of different topics, making it a great way for students to engage in their learning. The high school volunteers also had a great time and were a huge help in assisting with activities. And the RHS marching band also played for the students as they arrived at school, which is a fun way to kick off the day. Finally, Pierpont School is currently doing NJSLA testing, and they're looking forward to their field day and art show coming up next week. That's all for tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Questions or comments from board members?
If I can, I want the teachers who are here to know, and the administrators, that Sarah did not just do the other schools tonight because you were here. It's something that she came up with, right, at the beginning of, I think, the end of last year.
Yeah.
Historically, we've had a student rep for probably 20 years. We were one of the first schools to have it. And it's always been about the high school. And Sarah thought, let me reach out to the other schools. And so that's been, I think, something that's been a nice addition to the report from the student rep. So I do appreciate that. And you did leave out the fun that the seniors are going to have for the exams, right?
So we have you for one or two more meetings? One more
more,
meeting,
yeah.
right? Early June. So as you look back on your time at either the high school or any part of the Rutherford district you've been in, what would you say is a favorite tradition or memory or something you think you won't forget?
I would say I mean, I feel like from high school, just like the football games, like homecoming and stuff in the fall, it's a really fun way, I feel like, to get back to school. But just in general, I feel like I've met so many great friends, like teachers, that's made it all like so worthwhile.
Nice. Excellent.
And one day, as all of us around this table either are taking a lot of prescriptions or will be at some point, you're going to be a pharmacist, hopefully, and we'll get our prescriptions from you.
Oh, amazing. Excellent. You got 5 minutes? No, I'm just kidding. No, thank you so much for your presentation. We look forward to the next and last meeting you'll be at, celebrating all your time as a student representative. So thank you.
Thank you. You've been a great one. Thank you.
You're welcome to stay. We understand if you have commitments like those exams that Mr. Hurley told you are so much fun to study for. And have a good evening.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Sarah.
All right, so I know for the last couple of years we've been talking a lot about the profile of a Rutherford graduate, and I think one of the things the board has talked about over the months is that one of the things we really appreciate are when folks come to present things that are happening and like bring to life the things that we're talking about sort of in the abstract. So we're really excited for the special presentation tonight on profile projects related to a portrait of a Rutherford graduate. So I will turn it over to our administrative group who's here tonight.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for having us here tonight to share the work that we've done so far. I can't see that far. I think I need a prescription. I'm getting older, but I didn't. I was too. So,
kill the lights.
yeah,
Kill
that
the
I can't
lights.
see.
Yeah,
It's a good thing.
she's got the lights.
So I just wanted to just share where we're at and the stars of our show. The teachers really have been doing the nitty-gritty of the work, and they're going to talk about the projects. But where we are is that the last time when we met, we talked about the competencies that we've identified, and you've seen them across the district, and we've really infused them across disciplines, you know, with academic content and student experience, coupled with student experience. We've also, it's not just about the profile projects that we're going to talk about, but we've highlighted and expanded activities within the district, within the walls of the classroom, and school-wide as well, and district-wide. You'll see evidence that's of our work. It's visible throughout the district with banners and posters and signage, again, school-wide, in the classrooms, outside the schools. And we've developed a common language among staff that really pinpoints each competency, that highlights our shared vision. And this past year, the advisory board, which they're going to talk about, has really developed a profile project in each building that will demonstrate student experience and these competencies throughout the district. So I'd like to introduce our advisory board members. And Mr. Ryan and I are the advisory board chairs, and we have from Washington and Lincoln School, they've really put together a joint effort across town. It's Nicole Jaffe and Vanessa Rada and Sarah Rylick. Then moving up to the upper elementary school, we have Ms. Tara Philp from Pierpont School. Bridging to Union School, our middle school, we have Megan Collins. And at the high school level, Marissa Yoda, supervisor of world language and social studies. So I'm going to turn it now over to the stars of our show, the advisory board.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Ryan, you can click to the end of the slide there. One more. Oh, back one. There we go, perfect. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Rylick. I'm a third grade teacher at Washington School, and I, along with my Lincoln School counterpart, Vanessa Rada, are going to be presenting our elementary profile project. The project that we've landed on this year is going to be a third grade science fair. For those of you who don't know, the third grade science fair is currently an existing project. When the committee got together, we had a couple of options. We could have created a new project from the ground up, or we could have looked at some of the fantastic projects that were already taking place within our schools and looked at them to find ways that we can, as we like to say, porgify them. It's our new verb that we've trademarked in this committee. And so we, when examining the science fair, decided that this was an excellent project with great bones. And so we have found ways to elevate and enhance this project. So I'm going to briefly talk about what the current science fair looks like, and then I'm going to talk about how we've porified that project. So currently, the science fair is run by our lab science teacher, Ms. Kessler. She challenges the students to come up with a question that they are curious about, and they must use the scientific method to create an experiment that they primarily do at home. Once they've created the experiment and they've conducted the experiment and have come to a conclusion of what their findings are, they then create a trifold, which they bring to school, and at the science fair, they put them on display. We invite our third grade families to join us for about an hour where the students will present their projects. So the Porgified Science Fair is very similar to the current science fair. We've kept the structure, so students are still working with Ms. Kessler in lab science to go through the steps of the scientific method. They conduct an experiment at home. They still create their trifold board, which they will bring to school. However, moving forward, our third grade students are going to be required to do a 5-minute presentation within their homeroom classes. Not only will their third grade peers be their audience, but we are also going to be inviting second grade classes to join each third grade class to also be an audience. So this will be great practice for their communication skills. And it also is a fantastic way for the second grade students to see what they will then be encountering when they enter third grade. The second grade students are going to not just be an audience, but they're going to be active participants. So they will do something like a scientist spotlight where they'll be providing compliments and feedback to our third grade presenters. The second grade teachers are also going to be joining us in our classroom, and so we've decided that the second grade teachers, the third grade teachers, and Ms. Kessler are going to become a panel who will score the students on not only their academic performance, but we also have created a separate PORG rubric. So Ms. Kessler will focus primarily on the academic piece of the project, and the homeroom teachers will be scoring the PORG elements of the science fair that they've done. And then once they've finished their presentations, they will then be invited to come into the gym. All of the third grade students will put their trifold on display, and the school community, as well as our Rutherford community's third grade parents and family members will be invited to come in and then have their children present their projects to them.
Hi everybody, I'm Vanessa Rada. I'm from Lincoln School. I teach first grade. I'm a little nervous because I'm used to talking in front of 7-year-olds, so I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous.
We're nervous. There's no difference.
Okay. So some of the competencies that the children will be working on are critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration. So under the theme of critical thinking, they'll be brainstorming a topic, as Sarah just said, creating a hypothesis and conducting an experiment utilizing the steps of the scientific method. They'll be exploring some related questions to the experiment, like, was your hypothesis correct? And what surprised you about your experiment? Under the theme of creativity, they'll be, like as mentioned earlier, creating a trifold and displaying it, and also highlighting some of the cross-curricular standards such as math, writing, and art, looking at graphs, tables, and charts, clearly explaining their thoughts through writing, and displaying their art. They'll be enhancing their communication skills during their 5-minute presentation in front of classroom teachers, Ms. Kessler, the science teacher, and second grade students. And of course, collaboration. Second and third graders will be paired together to work and listen to their scientist spotlight presentation and enhance these skills in third grade and in second grade. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Tara Philp. I'm a 5th grade teacher at Pierpont School.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Macri. I am the digital arts teacher at Pierpont School.
So Rebecca is part of the Pierpont committee that has helped put these projects or helped design these projects. So for the perspective of what the profile projects are, Pierpont took a little bit of a different approach. We are doing a project for each grade, building the competencies, 3 4th grade, 3 5th grade, and then all 6 and 6th grade. So for fourth grade, they're going to be creating a personal narrative, My New School Adventure. They're coming to fourth grade at a new school, new experience, merging of all the schools. So the competencies that they'll be focusing on for that are character, communication, and creativity. So what they will be doing is using a graphic organizer. They will break down the elements of a personal narrative, but they will create a narrative about their new school experience. So it's reflective in nature about their experience coming to Pierpont for the first time, making new friends, all their experiences there, and then they will write a narrative, which is one of the writing elements that they learn about in fourth grade and build upon what they learned in the lower elementary schools, and they will write a personal narrative, and then they will also create a storyboard that goes with it. So it builds in, character elements, what it means to be a good student at a new school, being able to communicate their experiences, their feelings through writing the personal narrative, and then the creativity when it comes to the storyboard, and also the elements of writing, being creative in that respect. For fifth grade, we're going to take a closer look at their role as a citizen in the local community. So this is focusing on the next three competencies, so citizenship, critical thinking, and collaboration. So working closely with our service club, students are going to focus on what does it mean to be a citizen in the local community. As part of our social studies curriculum with TCI America's Past, we do a unit on civic responsibilities. So this was a really nice build into having the students explore a little bit more about our local community and different needs. So Service Club also takes on a lot of those projects. So working hand in hand with them, identifying needs, whether it's the food pantry. Right now we're kind of dabbling with the torch run, learning more about that, making posters. So fifth grade will take the lead on researching, providing information to the whole school, making posters, right, thinking critically about what are the needs, why are the needs important. So really building in why it's important to be an active citizen in your community, thinking critically about the bigger problems and the greater good of the community, how we can help, and then collaborating with one another and ultimately bringing the whole school together to help address a need in the local community. I'm going to have Rebecca talk a little bit about the sixth grade, but the sixth grade project is twofold, and you'll notice it embraces all 6 of the competencies. So we kind of built up understanding, and now it's going to be executing all 6. Do you want to take the digital arts part? Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so for the 6th grade, it is a 2-part project. So near the end of the school year in the 6th grade ELA classes, they're going to be writing a letter to their future self, where they're going to be explaining and giving memories of their experiences at Pierpont School. They'll be asking questions to their future selves. And then in my class, I do integrated arts, and they create video projects already. So they're going to be making a video companion part where they're doing a video to their future selves. They'll introduce themselves, they'll give a favorite memory about Pierpont School, and then they'll ask a few questions to their future selves that hopefully when they become a senior in high school, they will receive these videos back and they will be able to answer those questions that they ask themselves. And this will also incorporate all 6 of the competencies based on the memories that they share, the questions that they ask, and the things that they write about in their letter to their future selves, as well as their video to their future selves.
So for Pierpont School, all of the projects are also geared to be completed closer to the end of the year, right? So they're a little more reflective in nature, culminating in nature. And again, starting with 3 in 4th grade, 3 in 5th grade, and then combined in 6th.
Hello, I'm Megan Collins. I teach 7th and 8th grade ELA at Union School, and I'm really excited to present to you the Middle School Profile Project, which is a grade 8 advocacy project. This is actually a project that students, we've changed the project that students currently complete in health in grade 8, but we've expanded it to include all of the competencies. And our team really feels like this will help make their learning experience more meaningful and more authentic as they progress through this. So the purpose of the, The purpose of the project is for students to work collaboratively to research and present on a topic that's of personal or local significance. So students will select a topic from a list that they want to learn more about and they want to bring awareness to and advocate for. Students will be placed into groups based on that topic selection, and they'll narrow the focus of their topic to make it more personal to them. They'll meet regularly during their health and physical education block, a couple times throughout the year, throughout each quarter, to research and propose action around their topic. The physical education department is who is going to be supervising and assessing the projects, but we have, if available, other staff members who could also be assigned to help mentor students. So this is kind of like a timeline for what the year would look like for an 8th grader, with each quarter encompassing 2 or more competencies. So in quarter 1, students will focus on selecting their topic, working within their group to plan for research. So they're answering the questions, what is this topic? Why is it important to me? Why should other people be concerned about this or care about this? And so the competencies that they focus on are creativity and collaboration. In quarter 2, the focus shifts to critical thinking and communication, as students then research the topic and summarize their research as part of they're building a slideshow, so as part of their slideshow. In quarter 3, students will then identify their audience and propose an action plan. So thinking about what should be done to improve this issue and how can the audience join us to taking action. So that's focusing on citizenship and character. And lastly, citizenship and and character, sorry. And then the last quarter encompasses all of the competencies, where students will finalize their presentation and create a visual component to go along with their presentation. In the past, this has ranged from a proposed social media campaign or billboard campaign. Sometimes it could include a brochure or a poster series. But essentially, the focus is how can we effectively communicate our topic and this plan of action. And so that final presentation, which will take place in June, they're building towards all year. They'll define the issue, explain the need for advocacy, summarize their research from a variety of credible sources, propose a clear action plan geared towards a specific audience, and then produce that visual component. And just for this last slide, I wanted to include this because some key distinctions of this project, because as you hear about the different profile projects, you might hear some things that kind of get repeated, but at the same time, I want you to see that these profile projects all build upon each other. So the profile projects from the elementary schools, the 5th grade citizenship project, working together in groups, they all build upon each other. And so I see that this middle school project is a way to build upon the foundation that the students already have from elementary school, and then simultaneously prepare them for what their demands will be for when they get to grade 12 in the high school. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Marissa Yoda. The biggest challenge when we were trying to figure out a senior or project in the high school is where are all of the students going to be encompassed, since they have such different schedules and they take different electives. So we came up with the idea to have the senior project done in 12th grade English class. It'll take place mostly in the 4th quarter. And like Megan was talking about, we had met before and talked about how we really think it's a great, the 8th grade project, the high school project is a great spiral from the 8th grade because it is an advocacy and an action project. So we have we came up with the tagline of somebody should, so I will. So basically what students are going to do is they're going to identify an opportunity, an issue, or a need, and create a conclusion. So really, like, the core question that we want the students to answer is, here's something, this is why it matters, and this is why I'm the person that's going to address it. So if you notice, steps 1, 2, and 3 really are a refresher of what they've done in 8th grade. So they're doing a lot of similar things here. The first will be a defense proposal. So they will have to complete pre-research. They will have to write a written proposal that will be reviewed by a panel of supervisors, administrators, profile advisory board, and will have to get accepted. So basically what they're answering with this is, why should I be given time, 8 weeks or so, to develop this? The next step then becomes the deep dive into research, where students will explore and really be exposed to various different types of research methods to collect and to analyze evidence and data. And then step 3 will be the plan of action, where they're going to translate, they're going to take that research, that deep dive research that they've done, they're going to translate it into a concrete roadmap action plan with SMART goals. So those are kind of teaching points along the way too, where you're going to teachers will, in the curriculum, if you could just go back one, teachers will discuss, how to create a strong written proposal. Teachers are going to go over different types of research methods, and then for number 3, they'll discuss SMART goals. Where the senior project, that's all building from the 8th grade. And what we will be doing in the high school is step 4 is going to be implementation. The students are going to actually have to go out and try to attempt to implement it. They're going to create a documentation log, which is going to include their progress. This will include regular scheduled meetings that they'll have with their teacher and other mentors that they focus. We're trying to, when we have them pick topics, we're hoping that this will span all different types of disciplines. It'll be all different disciplines that students are interested in. So students who are interested in art, students who are interested in business, students who are interested in citizenship, the social studies, they can go into different paths. So the idea is to try and go out and find mentors within the high school, within the community as well, that can help them with their research and their implementation. Step 5 then will be one of my most favorite parts, because this is the reflection and the results, where students are going to not summarize what they did, but really do a deep and thoughtful analysis and reflection on a deep dive really into all of these different competencies, and talk about, did it work? And I think something very valuable is they might go out and try and implement something and it might not work, okay? And that's okay. Just going through the different parts of what worked, what didn't. If they were to try to attempt this again, what might they do differently? And then finally, the last step will be the final presentation, where the students are going to present the full arc of their research, what their issue is, the research methods, the action plan, and the results and reflection piece to a panel in person, which will again be developed of teachers, the advisory board, supervisors, administrators. So with all of these different steps, it encompasses, as it should in 12th grade, all of the competencies of the profile. Thank you.
That you just saw, PORG competencies are also being infused into daily lessons. So our big push is to have our students to recognize these terms, to recognize the symbolism, to include it into their classroom discussions, include it into their daily lives, so that if we were to, be in a lesson, the teacher would be talking about critical thinking, and the student can recognize that's a PORG competency. So we really want to get this infused in the daily lesson planning. We've been starting this year as going about doing observations. We've seen observations that we highlight observations that have focused on PORG competencies, and then at lessons that haven't, kind of said, hey, maybe you try this or that next year. And so that's a big push for the advisory board next year. We're going to be working on a PORG repository where they keep resources for the classroom. So and then teachers can upload per grade level various resources they're using for the PORG competencies. We're also doing PORG cards in every classroom. That's what you have in front of you. If you take a look at that, that's basically just reminders, and teachers will infuse those into presentations, into lessons, display them about their room, and kind of refer to them during their lessons, especially when they are in the PORG universe. And that's our big push for next year. The advisory board will continue to meet. They've done a lot of work this year. They did a really good job this year. They led subgroups in each building, and they met a lot. They did a lot of work. They presented to their faculty meetings and everything. So they're going to keep working. We work working together. So it's a good group. And what's that? That's it. Yep. So that's all we have for now. If you have any questions or comments, or
I have a comment. I'd just like to observe that and comment about the coordination through the schools. That's very impressive. That it's consistent, right? And that's wonderful. Yeah, that's great. I do have a question about the students as they elevate through, say, to Union and then high school. Are you going to allow the students to work in a group, or is it always individual?
I think a couple of the projects had collaboration as a skill, like some group work.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we'll let 8th grade go first.
So the 8th grade group will be a collaborative project, so groups of 3 or 4 that students actually aren't going to choose, but it'll be based on topic, so the teachers will help facilitate the group, but I think it's actually a good thing for students to learn to work with people maybe that they wouldn't choose. So for 8th grade, that's part of the collaboration. They'll be working in a group.
And then the high school, they'll have a little bit more freedom where they'll be able to choose. Again, that'll be part of the defense proposal. So if they're going to work with a group, for example, one of our samples is, if they wanted to create a band, you couldn't do that independently, right? So it could be a small group. That would have to be accepted by the panel, but they'll have the option to work individually or to work in a small group. And then the other difference there, just like Megan was saying, as their topics in 8th grade are more focused for them, in the high school, they'll have free reign of being accepted by the board, but more free reign to go in whichever direction they feel most passionate about.
Very important work. Thank you.
Other comments from board members? Christina?
As someone who is knee-deep in the 3rd grade science project right now, I just want to say I think it's great because it's been interesting to see my child use their own creative thinking skills. He normally has a little bit more of a difficult time with the structured school part, so for him to be creative and think of a topic that is passionate for him, it's been fun to watch. And the whole structure of the packet with the deadlines and the timelines of everything, it's been nice in my house with the science project right now. So looking forward to the other projects throughout the years.
Dr. Sin?
I got 2 things. One, so at the end, you say this lesson here builds upon all the other skills. But how about the students who are just starting now? Like, has that transition into it, never done anything choreographed before? I love that term, by the way. So, how do you handle that? Is it?
Well, something that we mentioned before is that although the 3rd graders will be doing their project for the first time, PORG is going to be infused in kindergarten. So students will be exposed to the PORG terms starting in kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, and they're actually already doing PORG projects. So although we are highlighting the capstone projects at each transitional grade level, just to give you an example, our 2nd grade students at Washington School are currently working on stuff box projects, which require them to, again, it's sort of like a little passion project. I'm sure Kingston, right, worked on one in 2nd grade. Mm-hmm. So it's a passion project. They kind of put everything, they have to fit all of the information on this topic into one box, and they're required to do a presentation in front of their classmates. So although PORG is technically for each transitional grade level, they will be doing PORG activities and projects from kindergarten all the way moving forward throughout 12th grade.
I think more of a comment. It's like, I love how it all ends the senior year, where we're teaching, where we're trying to produce these adults who aren't just finding problems, but solutions.
Yes.
That's a pet peeve of mine. People just say, here are complaints, but so I love that, someone should, so I will. So come up with a solution. And that's a good citizen, that's a good end product.
Other comments? Mr. Sprayberry?
Phenomenal job, and no need to be nervous. I said it to Mr. Schweitzer this past week, and I said, being in front of the students, I can talk to adults all day long. Put me in a room full of kids, all that. So, but phenomenal job. We really, and Sergio said, Dr. Lott said, we really, really enjoy you guys coming here and presenting to us. So we really appreciate it. Great job.
So this is a good time. Oh, Ms. Jones, go ahead.
I just want to say congratulations. You've done a fine job and we enjoyed your presentation.
I was going to say at some point we need to give everyone a round of applause for all your hard work. So I think this is a good time to do that. I do want to say that, I mean, I think this is incredible, and I think that oftentimes profiles of a graduate are things that get created and they sort of get shelved or they get put up on walls, but they don't really live in the classrooms. And the only way to do that is to actually implement these things in your classroom practice, and it's exactly what you're doing. And to put them in rubrics is really, really impressive, and because that is the way that students are going to really foster these skills, and you're creating a common language amongst faculty as well, and for students, which I'm assuming that they see some of the rubrics as they get older, they know what they're being measured against. So I think it's fantastic. I did want to ask, I plan to attend the end of the year party at the Great Cliff. May I use the term porgified in my 2-minute speech?
It's yours.
Awesome, awesome.
We copyrighted that.
Okay, no, porgified, I will quote it. But really, wonderful job. Look forward to, hearing more as some of these things are implemented next year. I was asking Mr. Hurley a couple of questions that actually you answered at the end, Mr. Ryan, about next year versus this year, and then also like the senior project. This will be required for every student. It might take the place at like a higher level for some of those projects. So I think that's great.
If I could first, I appreciate the board's support of this from the very beginning. And it's been really part of our culture now for 3 years. I mean, we delayed the projects, right? Collaboratively decided that it would be better to wait to really get them done well and have everybody ready. Individually, the folks here tonight presented this to their final projects, to their buildings at their last faculty meetings. As I think both Mr. Ryan and Ms. Saxon said, there were teachers in every building that worked with this team. So it's the buy-in and the development coming from the faculty primarily is, I think, what will make this successful, because it's coming from the people who are going to deliver and work with the students. I also like the fact that even starting in grade 3, there's that collaboration with grade 2. There's the idea of presenting to a group. Science fair is wonderful, as you're finding out, right? But primarily, the kids stand by their project and they talk to their mom and their dad and their granddad and their grandma. And now they're going to be talking to a group of students in a class. It's going to be taking that, one of the things that we've talked about, social media and the like, having a conversation. Seniors are going to have to sit with a panel, and not so much, I think Ms. Yoda said, not so much summarize their report, but explain the significance of it and explain what they learned from it, and maybe explain why it failed, why they didn't learn what they thought they were going to learn. And these are the kind of conversations that we have to have because remember, this is a profile of the graduate, what we want our student to be. We've heard a lot of discussion, right, about technology. There's not a lot of technology in any of this, okay? It's collaboration, it's writing, it's critical thinking, it's talking. Yeah, we're going to use PowerPoints and videos and things like that to help Canva, to help the Canva crowd is mouthing Canva at me. To get the point across, right? But it's all coming from here and working with kids. So I'm really very pleased and proud and happy with the work that these folks have done. It's been something that they more or less volunteered for, right? They more or less volunteered, and have really worked hard. And that passion project that they talked about, it's become a passion project. Normally, if you get asked a question, people look at who's going to answer it. We saw people run up to the microphone to answer the question, right? So,
by the way, in my school we call that voluntold.
So, it's a good one. I'll sell you Porgified if I could do
Okay.
that. So again, thank you. And look, we're going to practice what we preach, right? So these projects next year, if, just like we're going to say to the kids, hey, if at the end you do that reflective piece and maybe it has to be done a little differently, so be it, okay? But I'm very pleased with where it's going, and again, I thank the support from the board for the last couple of years in getting this going.
Yeah, absolutely. And please thank the larger faculty that's a part of this, and thank you for your oversight of all of this and shepherding this through, because it's really important, because you all represent different schools. So, I think buy-in and understanding grows through usage and having a group like this that's a real sort of hybrid of different schools and grades. So thank you. Any last questions or comments from board members?
Next year when this is implemented, would it be possible that we can have some of the kids present from each grade level? That would be great.
Sure.
Like on a volunteer
Sure.
basis?
They'll kind of volunteer too. Yeah.
Voluntold our kids?
No, I think that would be great.
Voluntold our
kids. We got to years ago, we used to have student presentations at board, and then it just got a little redundant, and it got a little bit, I think it would be great to maybe bring a one or two from each of the grade levels. Be great. Mr. Ryan Saxon, put that in your notes.
Got it.
Well, thank you again. This was really meaningful, and like we told Sarah, you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting if you'd like this evening. If you have other things you need to attend to, we understand. But no, thank you again. And I think we're going to move on now to the report of the superintendent. Yeah, another round of applause. Should we get ready for a second?
No, that's okay.
You're good? Okay.
We just had a very thorough and I think great report for quite a while, so I'm going to keep mine very, very short. I want to congratulate Dr. Alati and Mr. Bogosian. Dr. Alati is going to be honored by the New Jersey school boards at the county meeting at the end of the month, May 28th, for 10 years of service, and Mr. Bogosian as a master board member.
Yes.
So congratulations. And the meeting is on May 28th. Any board member who wishes to go can go. I know Mrs. Jones is going to be there. I will probably not, because I will do the PT council meeting, and I'll represent both of us at that meeting. But again, congratulations, and thank you for all that you do for us. You mentioned the end of the year party. Again, if you're planning on going, please let Donna know. More importantly, send a check that you're going to go by the end of the week if possible. Policy committee, I did receive some policies from Strauss Esme that I'm working on right now with the administrators, so probably I'd like to get them on both June meetings, but if not, certainly the second one in July. So I'll be sending them out to the committee shortly, okay? And tonight there is a resolution. I will speak about some of the resolutions when we get to that moment, but I do want to mention the one that New Jersey School Board sent forward. I've been talking about, the fiscal cliff that we're looking at, what can be done to either control the rising costs or at least provide more assistance to the schools. So that resolution is on there tonight, and hopefully it will pass, and I will then get it out to the...
None. We will move on now to the report of the president. So end of the year party, June 11th. You heard Mr. Hurley ask everyone to please RSVP and send checks this week. June 23rd, we'll send it out to folks and we'll review it at the end of June. So we'll give everyone a few weeks to be able to fill that out. Give me a couple of weeks to synthesize it, and then we'll go over it together. And it just needs to be sent out before July 1. So, questions about that?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to send it out this week so it can be completed in about 3 weeks or so. I think we'll give it like a timeline.
First week of June, we have our meeting.
Yes.
So, but the last week of June is when we'll go over it? Yeah.
June 29th.
June 29th. So we'll work backward from there. But when I send you an email, I'll give you a timeline. That's it for my report. Any questions or comments? All right, hearing none at 7:46 PM. We're going to open up the meeting to the public for anything related to the agenda this evening. Hearing no comments, we're going to close the meeting at 7:46 PM, and we are going to move on to new business where there's action to be taken. And we will start with personnel. Mrs. Cole, you have the one addendum piece there as well? Yep.
Good evening. Personnel did not meet this month. The following 30 motions are to be put forward tonight, a recommendation of the superintendent. I'd like to be,
We'd like to move.
motions 1 through 30 under personnel.
All right, thank you. Do we have a second for that? All right, Mr. Bogosian. Questions or comments from board members?
There's one change that we need to make for the minutes, and that is in number 9. The approving Mr. Infante as a leave replacement. The end date of that is not June 30th, 2027. It is actually May 21, 2027. Yeah, May 21st, 2027.
All right. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Mr. Kelly, please take roll.
Mr. Bogosian?
Yes.
Whoa, Ms. Cates?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Dr. Racine?
Yes.
Mr. Sprayberry?
Yes.
Dr. Oladi?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll go on now to curriculum and instruction. Ms. Jones.
Thank you. We did not have a CNI meeting, and tonight there are 9 motions that have been put forth on the recommendation of our superintendent.
All right, thank you. Do we have a second on that motion from Ms. Jones? All right, Mr. Healy, any questions or comments on curriculum and instruction? Can you just talk about the transitional teacher agreement? I'm not so familiar with exactly what that is.
That is a service that has provided us with a teacher when we cannot find one. We used it for world language. So rather than, if you remember a couple of years ago, we contracted with a online service. This is actually a living, breathing, real certified teacher that they provide.
Okay, great. Any other questions or comments?
The online teachers were live people too, right?
In the flesh. Well, sometimes, you never know. You know, come on.
AI now.
Yeah, AI, right. But I do want to, yeah, and so anyway, to clarify that particular resolution a little further, you know, we really liked the world language teacher that they gave us. We had an opening. There's a non-compete clause, and to sign her, we had to do that.
Got it. All right. Questions or comments from board members? Anything else? Nope. All right. Mr. Kelly, please take roll.
Mr. Bogosian?
Yes.
Mrs. Cates?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Dr. Racine?
Yes.
Mr. Sprayberry?
Yes.
Dr. Oladi?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We'll move on now to finance. Mr. Bogosian.
Good evening. We did not have a finance committee meeting since our last full board meeting. Tonight on the agenda, we have 7 motions to consider. I'd like to move motions 1 through 7 under finance.
All right. Do we have a...
May I just jump in there for a second?
Should I get a second first or no?
You can. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Can we get a second? Mr. Sprayberry, is that your hand? Okay. All right. Discussion questions. Mr. Kelly.
Just there's a correction on motions number 2 and 3. You see they both have dates of September 30th, 2025. That's wrong. The reports you got were the correct ones, which were for the month of March of 26. So the minutes will reflect the actual correct dates, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Thank you.
That's 2 and 3, is it?
2 and 3, yes.
Okay. All right. Questions or comments from board members?
And that's the resolution I spoke about already, about the health benefit.
All right. Mr. Kelly, please take roll.
Mr. Bogosian?
Yes.
Ms. Cates?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Dr. Racine?
Yes.
Mr. Sprayberry?
Yes.
Dr. Awadi?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll move on now to policy. Mr. Healy.
Yes, we did not have a policy committee meeting since our last board meeting, and there are no resolutions for this evening.
All right, thank you. Buildings and grounds, Mr. Sprayberry.
Same here, no meeting, no resolutions.
All right, then we will move on to old business. Is there any old?
Really old business, but I think it's interesting. This Friday night, the high school and the Kids Center are having a senior prom. And I've never gone to it before, but I'm gonna go to it this year. So
It's fun.
I'll let
Do you have a
know
date?
when I come back to how it is.
Do you have a date?
This,
No, I don't have a date.
yeah, this started back when I was principal, or maybe even before, maybe when I was the assistant principal. We've been doing it for a long, long time here in the cafeteria. And I always, when as principal, I attended. And, the first few years, I used to look at all the folks there and say, oh, how cute. And then a few years later, they were asking me to dance. I was like a guest. But it is a great opportunity for our students to interact with the senior citizens. It's a fun night for the senior citizens. The music, it's a senior prom for the senior citizens.
From what I understand from Michael Moore, our custodian, that we're not gonna have to sit on the benches, that we'll have.
No, we got chair, high risers.
I
Yeah.
can't do that.
Right. But no, it's a lot of fun, and it's a great opportunity for our kids. Yeah.
Nice. Mr. Sprayberry?
Yeah, no, did the Union School PTA meeting with Mr. Schweitzer, so, and I actually did tell him that we were talking about the kids and stuff, and speaking in front of kids and adults, because, teachers just have no qualms around the kids. So it was a treat, but no, it was a great update with them. I actually went over, I did address brought up the state and what they were putting out for our district for healthcare costs, so, and everybody was, very pleased to hear that and everything. So it was a great meeting. So they raised a lot of money and done a lot of great things over at the Union School PTA.
Yeah.
Excellent. Other updates, old business? All right, so we'll move on to legislative updates. Anything for us?
Yes. Senate Bill 4102, introduced on May 4th, which is just last week, by Angela McKnight from Hudson County, requires school districts to establish procedures for online reporting of harassment and intimidation and bullying cases.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what you mean by online. If there's a form to fill out, the form's online now, so we'll see. And again, a lot of these bills, they get introduced, it takes a while to go through the process. There is a good case in point is the cell phone ban that was signed as Governor Murphy left office. The law and the guidelines that were distributed from Department of Ed have a little bit of a contradiction. So now Strauss Esme is saying we have to hold off till we get some clarification. And the contradiction is similar to what it's kind of like what we do in district. They're totally banned K to 8, can't have them. High school, there's caddies, right? So you can't have them during class. Well, the law says that, the way the law was written, it says that you can do what we're doing now in the high school, but the way the guidance was written, it says you can't. So there's kind of a disagreement. So sometimes these bills get a little cloudy. So, it is already May, and we're being told to wait before we let people know exactly what the policy is going to be next year. Makes things a little dicey. Also, I want to let everybody know, normally at the end of March, we get the school performance report for every school and for the district, and it's a pretty detailed report. Usually doesn't have a lot of new information. It's information that comes from everything you hear, right? The report of student achievement, HIB reports, the violence, vandalism, all those reports that you hear. And it gets into one document where you can take a look at the district, you can look at the district as it compares and contrasts to other districts, things like that. Well, this year, we didn't get any information at all. March came, it's usually the end of March, it gets embargoed for a week or two so that you can look at it, the administrators can look at it, in case there's something you say, wait a minute, this looks incorrect, right, the data. And then usually early April, mid-April, it gets put out on the state's website, and we put it out on our website. We didn't get a single word about it until today, around noon. The format came out, totally different format. Very hard to even share with the administrators because only 8 people in the district are allowed to log in and see it. It's embargoed for 1 week instead of 2 weeks. So, we got it. So anyway, sometime next week or the week after, I'll be putting it out there publicly because the embargo will be lifted. But there's a lot of things coming out slowly. A lot of changes have come out of the operating systems that you now use. You used to use SMID, now they use SLEDs. There's all different platforms, and things have been a little slow coming out of Trenton. So when it comes out, it's going to look different if you looked at it before. I don't think I started looking through it today, but it came in very late. I don't see anything that's surprising or anything that isn't accurate based on what we know. But it's just, the process is a little more challenging to get through. And I just think it's interesting that they want the administrative team to look at it, but that you can't print it. The only way you could print it is to print every page individually, and there's about 500 pages. And you only have 8 users. So, we're going to look at it, and I'm sure it's accurate. But sometimes things change. They don't necessarily change for the better. So be looking for that.
All right, thank you. So at 7:57 p.m., we're going to open the meeting to the public for anything related to or not related to the agenda. Seeing no comments, we're going to close the meeting at 7:58 p.m., and there is not a need for an executive session. So we can have a motion to adjourn. Mr. Sprayberry, seconded by Mr. Magosian. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned. Have a good evening.